Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started with our panel. So we are going to start with university panelist introductions, and then after they introduce themselves, we're going to go ahead and move into 3 questions for all of the panelists, and then we will open it up to questions for you guys as well as for our online audience. We also have Elisa from Texas A&M on our virtual Zoom, so if you have questions for her, please go ahead. So we can go ahead and start with Fernanda. Oh, and you'll just do your name, position, and then the university you represent.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, thank you all so much for being here. My name is Fernanda Garcia. I am a transfer admission counselor at St. Edward's University.
Hi, everyone. My name is Monice Beavis. I am an assistant director of undergraduate admission at UT Dallas. And just a caveat, I also am an ACC grad. I graduated with my associates.
My name is Caroline Hope. I am the Austin Regional Manager from Texas State University.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica with a K, and I am the Senior Program Coordinator of Transfer Admissions at the University of Texas at Austin.
Awesome. So our first question is, can you provide a short I'm sorry. Oh, Elisa, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elisa Sanchez. I'm a Senior Regional Advisor in Transfer Recruitment for Texas A&M University in College Station, Texas.
Yay. Okay, now our first question is, can you provide a short overview of your university?
Yes, absolutely. So St. Edward's University is a small private university. We're located right off of South Congress, so about 15 minutes away, 15-20 with traffic. We, again, are a small institution, so your average class size is going to be about 18 students per class. We're really focused on giving you that, personalized experience, making sure that all of your questions are being answered and just meeting you where you're at. We have over 60 areas of study. Some of our top majors include marketing, communication, forensic science, biology, business administration. So lots of kind of different majors to choose from. Also nursing, which is one of our newer majors. And we have different resources on campus for you to just kind of have that smooth transfer into the university. Let me see, what else can I share? We have different sports on campus, so soccer, basketball, softball, things like that. Yeah, that's kind of a quick overview.
So for UT Dallas, we're located in Richardson, Texas, which is about 20 minutes north of downtown Dallas. So we're about 3.5 hours away from here. The drive is very easy once you start doing it, I promise you. I did it all the time. But we offer so many different things here at UT Dallas. We are a STEM-heavy school. A lot of students come here for computer science, engineering, animation, and games, going into the medical field in some way, shape, or form. A lot of people say that great things come in threes. We're number 3 in the state of Texas for just best public school in general. We're also number 3 in the state of Texas for computer science engineering program, and then also number 3 in the state of Texas for top medical feeder school. So we have a lot of great stuff that we have to offer to our students. Our classes are they're pretty small. The average class size is about 25 students. Your largest ones might be the ones that are the core classes that you might end up taking. But if, of course, for you guys coming in as transfers, most of that stuff should be done. So that's the really exciting part is when you get here, you're in the nitty gritty of all the core classes and major courses that you're wanting to do. As far as things to do, there's literally so much on our campus. We have over 300 plus student orgs on our campus. We have an esports team. We have a dark chocolate eating team or organization, a SpongeBob watching club. There's a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of fun things to be able to take part in. We did just open our esports center, which is literally a building full of video games. So whether you're on the esports team or you just want to go play, you absolutely can. There's a Buffalo Wild Wings in there. You can have a fun time, but there's a lot to offer at UT Dallas.
So Texas State University is right down the road, about 45 minutes south in San Marcos. We also do have a Round Rock campus, so if you are located a little further north, we do have a few programs that will be offered up at our Round Rock location as well. We are a large public school. We hit 40,000 students this last fall. Super excited to see how many students we're going to have here this fall. The numbers just keep growing as more people are getting interested in Texas State. ACC is actually our largest feeder school from transfer students. So a lot of the ACC students end up transferring over, which makes my heart happy. So we are incredibly transfer friendly. We are a Hispanic serving institution, and almost half of our student population are first gen. So they are the first in their families to attend college. So we have a lot of different resources to help all different kinds of students, over 300 organizations. And as you all probably know, we have a river that flows through campus. So that's something that makes us incredibly unique. But we have students from all different backgrounds, over 99 different majors. So we do have a little bit of everything at Texas State.
Hey y'all, so UT Austin, located in the heart of Texas, here in Austin, Texas. So we are a large public institution, research institution as well. We have over 51,000 students on campus, but 40,000 of our students are undergraduates, and I always share this with the transfer pool because we have an 18-to-1 student to faculty ratio, even though we are such a large population of students. We really focus on students discovering their interests through their major, so there's over 170 plus fields of study at UT Austin, and through all of those majors, we really encourage our students to study abroad. So that is something that we always get our students thinking about, even when they're at orientation, we're talking to them about study abroad, because our university really highlights the experiential experience more than your classroom experience. There are over 1,500 organizations, so we also have a very quirky club called the Cake Club. You would think it's about baking cakes, but it's kayaking and canoeing, which would make sense since we have the lake, Lady Bird Lake, right downtown. So there's just so many things to offer for our transfer students. We are a transfer friendly institution as well. In my office of admissions, we partner closely with the Transfer Year Experience office, and they have transfer interest groups where you have like 20 to 25 students within your major or a major similar to yours that are also transfer students. So you're able to kind of find some friends and get adapted to the university. But there's so much to offer if you're into sports, or if you're not into sports, I always encourage students to attend at least one sporting event as a UT student, because you will have a good time if you know what's going on or not. You're still going to have a great time. But that's a little bit of our institution. So I'm excited to talk to you all more about UT Austin today.
Go ahead, Elisa.
Hi, everybody. So again, I'm from Texas A&M University. So we are the first public institution to open up in Texas back in 1876. We are also a very large institution. We have over 70,000 students on campus. Of those students, a little over 60,000 are undergraduate students. So again, we are a large campus, but we also have a 21-to-1 faculty to student ratio. So again, we still try to make it a personalized experience for you guys. So you're never just a number when you come to our campus. We also have a lot for you to do as well with over 1,300 student organizations. Definitely a little bit of something for everybody to get involved, kind of find your place, right, and feel at home once you're on campus. As far as majors go, we also offer a little bit of something for everybody with over 100 and I believe 35 or 140 undergraduate majors. Definitely easy, right, for you to kind of find what you're looking for at Texas A&M. We also are a large research institution as well. We have a land, sea, and space grant. So again, that just kind of expands the research opportunities. So we do have a branch campus, which is in Galveston, Texas. So they do accommodate our sea grant for our maritime ocean related majors. So whether you're at A&M College Station or A&M Galveston, just know you are at Texas A&M University. But that is just a little bit about Texas A&M. And I'm sure with the next questions, I'll definitely provide you with some more information as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. The next question is, what are the admission requirements for each of your institutions?
Thank you. So at St. Edward's University, we have a holistic approach to our reviewing process. So I like to mention that because while, our admission committee will look at transcripts and things like that, your essay is extremely important. So our admission process is very simple. All we need is, of course, your application. There's a 500-word essay requirement, and it's just basically so that our admission committee is able to get to know you a little more. We want to know about not only your academic journey, but your personal journey as well. And then we will require official transcripts from any institution you've attended before. Typically, a 2.5 cumulative GPA or above will make you a good candidate for admission. And for students that have a 3.0 cumulative GPA or above, that will also make you a good candidate to be considered for our transfer scholarships. Another thing that I can mention is we do not have a separate process for our transfer scholarships, so you will be considered for them upon initial review process. They also go ahead and renew for up to 3 years, which is really nice. And once you kind of go through that admission process, you'll be assigned a financial counselor that will walk you through the financial piece as well. So in terms of requirements, those are pretty much going to be the overall admission requirements. When you apply to St. Edward's, you're applying to the university and rather than like a major itself or like a school. So once you have been admitted to the university, you're automatically admitted into the program. And it's also easier to, switch majors if you'd like. With the exception of nursing, that does have a separate process, and I'm happy to talk to anyone that's interested in our admission process or nursing specifically.
So for UT Dallas, it's pretty simple. The biggest thing, of course, that you need to submit your application. Right now, our transfer application is only on Apply Texas. So you guys will apply through there. And then all we need is your transcript from ACC. And that's pretty much it. Essays, letters of recommendation, and resume are all optional documents that you can submit. I still encourage you to submit those things, at least the essay, just to share a little bit more about who you are as a student and give us a little bit more of your background and just highlight things that your numbers don't tell us. That's just my own personal advice to you guys if you guys are going to apply to UT Dallas. But there is a assured admission option that we do have at UT Dallas. We have 3 of them, but the 2 main ones that students will normally fall into is the first one, which is coming in with 42 transferable credit hours, but not more than 90, and having a 3.0 GPA or higher, and then being in good academic standing with ACC. The other one to get a short admission is to join our COMET program, COMET Connection program, which is something that we have a form on our website that you would sign. You would meet with your academic advisor here, and they would sign it, and then you would submit it to me, and then we would have that program form put into your profile so that we know that, basically stating that once you're done with ACC, you are going to come over to UT Dallas, and just ensuring that you're still, of course, have that 3.0 GPA. But we are a holistic review process as long as you submit everything else outside of your transcript. Otherwise, we'll only be looking at your transcript.
So for Texas State, our application is on Apply Texas and on Common App. I do encourage Common App over Apply Texas. It's easier for us to process. We're going to need your application fee or fee waiver. Transfer students can get fee waivers if you qualify through the FAFSA. A lot of transfer students don't know that. So for Texas State, if you submit your FAFSA, you're Pell eligible, that fee will be waived. And then we need your college transcripts. So if you've attended ACC, if you've attended anywhere else as well, we're going to need all of those transcripts. Now, as far as the admission requirements go, we have 3 different brackets. That first one is going to be 1 through 14 transferable credit hours. You must have a 2.0 GPA and you must meet freshman admission requirements. So we will look at your high school transcript, and we might need SAT and ACT test scores. We don't really like that one. So we recommend students to stay here a little bit longer, get more credits, get more experience. And as soon as you hit 15 credit hours, then you'll fall into the next bracket, which will be 15 to 29 credit hours, will be a 2.5 GPA for automatic admission. It must be transferable credits, so they have to transfer to Texas State for us to accept them. A 2.5 GPA of cumulative GPA as well. We won't look at anything from high school, and again, that gets you automatic admission. Now, our third bracket is 30 plus hours. So maybe you're staying here a little bit longer, you're getting your associate's degree. That GPA is a 2.25 GPA. Again, automatic admission. We don't need resumes, we don't need recommendation letters, and we don't need essays. Really, all we're looking for is that GPA. If your GPA falls below a 2.25 or a 2.5 GPA, but above a 2.0, then you'll go under review, and that's where an essay could be helpful. Maybe you need to explain some things. If that does happen, we'll really look at the most recent semesters to make our admission decision. So I'm gonna mention Bats to Cats real fast, just to clear up any confusion in case I do get any questions later. Bats to Cats have the exact same admission requirements. That is not automatic admission if you're in Bats to Cats, it's the exact same admission requirements.
So for UT Austin, we require that students have graduated from a high school, homeschooled, or GED program, and that they have enrolled in a college or university after that high school, homeschool, or GED graduation. Additionally, transfer students at UT Austin must have or will have 24 credit hours of transferable coursework. So that's an important piece because your coursework has to be transferable to be counted towards the required 24 hours that we require for the application. We do have an automatic transfer equivalency system on our admissions website. So you can actually go on there and search your ACC credit to see if it is transferable to UT Austin. So you'll know that you're meeting the 24 credit hours. And maybe if you're applying to a program that has prerequisites, that you're also meeting the prerequisites. We require the application, of course. You have to submit the application. It is on Common App. There is a $75 fee for domestic students and a $90 fee for international students. We have a fee waiver for domestic students, but we do not have a fee waiver for international students. Additionally, you will have to submit one essay. It is a statement of purpose, or some websites you may see personal statement, but we really want to get to know you. So we want you to talk about, why are you interested in this major? What do you plan to do with this major when you leave UT Austin? How are you going to make an impact in the world or on campus? You know, also showcasing your personality. I always explain to transfer students that the personal statement is not the time to talk about your grades. So we can see on your transcript that you have a 3.9 GPA. If you are in Phi Theta Kappa or any other great organizations here at ACC, we require a resume with our admissions application. So we'll also be able to see that in the required resume. So don't spend your essay talking about those items that we can find on different application items. We also require college transcripts from any institution you have ever attended. So if you've attended a different institution before being at ACC, we still need that transcript, even if your ACC transcript shows your previous college credit. I mentioned the resume. It is a required item, so you will have to submit a resume. I know you have great transfer resources here to get you a resume together. We also have application workshops virtual, so you're more than welcome to sign up for those. I think the next one is actually pretty soon, maybe next week, so you can sign up for that. Quick plug for that. Also, there are some major specific items. So majors like architecture, studio art, design, theater, and dance, they require a portfolio or an audition tape. So if those are any of your majors you're interested in, you will have to submit that item, but that will be submitted after you submit your application on the Common App. We do have prerequisites for some of our majors, so business, nursing, engineering, geosciences, natural sciences, all of those have prerequisites. So they are on our admissions websites. You can take those here at ACC. Well, you have to take those here at ACC because you have to have the prerequisites completed or in progress to apply to those majors. So we tell students up front, if you don't have those prerequisites, you need to take them because you will not be admitted into those programs without the prerequisites. But we really want you to showcase your personality. I think all of us kind of talked about having a holistic review process. So we don't have a minimum or maximum GPA for admission. We really stand by our holistic review process, and everything needs to be equally as strong that you submit to us. So when you're submitting your essay, your resume, you really want to showcase a lot of great items and important items that you think is important, because those are being considered with your admissions application. Some non-required items but highly recommended would be your letters of recommendations. And students can submit up to 2 letters of recommendations with their admissions application. And I always tell students, it's quality over who wrote the letter of recommendation. We see a lot of recommendations from like high profile names, but the letters of recommendations are very bland or can be written for any student. So you really want to get someone that knows you and that can really speak of you if you're going to submit this optional item with your admissions application. And then lastly, we don't require high school transcripts unless you are an international student. If you are an international student, you must submit your high school transcript, and it will need to show grades 9. For some international students, grades 9 is in middle school, so you will need to submit your middle school and your high school transcript. There are some additional transfer pathways, but I don't want to keep y'all here for like 3 more days to talk about those, so we can chat about them. But we do have automatic transfer admission, which has some requirements, and we also have academic fresh start, which ignores credit for students that is 5 to 10 years older. So we can chat about those a little bit later when we have time at the end of the session.
Perfect, thank you. Elisa?
Yeah, so at Texas A&M, so just for A&M to be considered a transfer student, you do have to either graduate high school or complete your GED and enroll in a long semester post-high school graduation, so like a fall or spring semester. That is when we would classify you as a transfer applicant. We have 2 application cycles. We have a spring cycle and then we have a summer-fall. So for any spring application, it's always going to be August 1st to October the 15th. And for any summer-fall, it's always January 1st to March 1st. So to qualify for admissions as a transfer, there are some university minimums that every student needs to meet. So to be considered or to apply in a sense for transfer, you have to have a minimum of 24 hours of graded transferable coursework and a 2.5 GPA grade point average. So those 24 hours, again, must be graded earned hours. So if you did earn any credit potentially through, AP, IB, or CLEP, while credit, yes, will be given for those were not graded, so they do not count towards your 24. So just know you would need that additional 24 hours. And when we calculate your GPA, it is a cumulative GPA. So out of all the college credit you've ever taken, that is the GPA we're going to look at. So if you did take dual credit elsewhere before coming to ACC, just know we're going to combine that together to calculate that GPA. We also do not do grade forgiveness in our calculation. So if you ever repeated a course or if you have a failing grade on your transcript, we will also factor that into our GPA as well. In addition to that, you also need to submit a required essay or statement of purpose. Similar to UT, we're definitely wanting to learn more about you as an individual. Definitely are interested in knowing why you've chosen your major, right? Why are you wanting to pursue that major at A&M and what career goals have you set for yourself? Definitely your opportunity to tell us something new that we are not already getting within the application itself, or something that, again, we cannot see within the transcript. So it really is your opportunity just to let us know a little bit more about yourself as a person, as a student. If there's an accomplishment you want to talk about or a challenge potentially that you overcame, you're more than welcome to talk about that in the essay. But most importantly, within the essay, we want to know how you as a student know that this is the right major for you. What got your interest in this major, and how is getting your degree from us going to help you, right, achieve those goals after graduation. So that is important information for you to include within your essay. There is also an application fee. For my domestic students, it is $75. For international students, it is $90. But that's really what we're looking for there. And the application itself is through Apply Texas or through Common App. So you're free to decide which application site you want to work with. I would definitely say Common App now is probably going to be a more friendly site for you to use. But again, you're totally free to decide which application site you want to do. But as far as us to consider you for admissions, it is the application right through Common App or Apply Texas. Within the application, you'll go ahead and do your essay and pay your application fee. And then you would also need to send us official college transcripts from every institution you've ever attended. So that is the information we're going to use as our application process. We will not consider anything that you got during your high school career. So like SAT, ACTs will not be taken into consideration. Your high school transcript also will not be looked at. So like your high school GPA, your high school ranking is also something we will not consider. We're only going to consider your college related information. Lastly, I definitely want to talk about your major, right? So the very beginning, I said to be eligible, you need 24 hours and a 2.5. That is true to make you eligible to apply. Now, if you truly want to be competitive, you definitely want to make your way over to our admissions website to look at what's called our transfer core sheets. We have one for every major you can apply for as a transfer student. Very, very important that you look at that core sheet when you're making your schedule at ACC, so you can see what the major at Texas A&M is wanting from you course-wise. Every major is looking for something a little bit different. Some have very specific course requirements, while some other of our programs may say, any 24 hours of core curriculum works for us. But if you're wanting like engineering, if you're wanting business or a heavy STEM major, again, they're very specific on what math and what sciences they want. So you definitely want to make sure you look at those core sheets so that way you can plan accordingly. And also pay attention to the GPA. Our more popular majors definitely have a higher GPA requirement. So again, a 2.5 can make you eligible to apply. But if you really want to be considered, let's say for the Mace Business School, the minimum GPA they consider is a 3.75. So again, all that information is on our transfer core sheets. So definitely take a look at those core sheets. If you ever need assistance with those, I'm more than happy to work with you as well. And then lastly, again, I won't go into detail about this either, but if y'all have questions, definitely let me know. We do have a program for transfer admission, or PTA, which is a form of guaranteed admission for students who attend a community college in the state of Texas. So by attending ACC, you are eligible for this program. Since it is guaranteed admission, there are some higher academic standards attached to it, and not every major participates. So depending on the major you want, this may or may not be the best program for you. But if you did want more information about the PTA program, just let me know. I can also drop it in the chat for the individuals online, and I'd be happy to work with you on that too.
Thank you so much, Elisa, and everyone. We'll move on to the last question that I have for you before we open it up for the students. How much is tuition, and what are some of the resources students typically use to help pay for the institution? So
There we go. Okay. So at St. Edward's, we typically encourage students to enroll full-time. We do have a flat rate tuition for a full-time semester. So whether you're taking 12 to 18 credit hours, you'll be paying the same. If you decide to enroll part-time, you would be paying or billed per credit. So typically a full-time semester at St. Edward's University is going to be about $25,000, which I know sounds really scary right off the bat, right? But we do offer lots of different scholarship opportunities. We have, on top of our transfer scholarships, we do have an additional 5,000 ACC Affinity scholarship available for you. So if you're enrolled at ACC at the time that you apply, you'll be automatically considered for that additional scholarship. The average transfer award last year, I believe, was around $30,000, which is, pretty good scholarship and pretty good grants. Of course, we always encourage you to submit your FAFSA application as well to be considered for any federal, state, private, and university need-based funding. So again, once everything has once your financial offer has been put together, once you've been admitted, you'll be assigned a financial counselor that can kind of explain a little bit further and break that down for you. I will also say we have a cost estimate link on our website where you can kind of input some numbers and get an estimate of what your scholarships might be based on some information that the survey might ask. I don't think that considers the FAFSA information, but I will say, you know, it's really helpful to kind of apply and get your financial offer to see what those real numbers will be. Yeah.
So for UT Dallas, our tuition is $14,000. And that's the flat rate for it. And we are an institution that has a tuition cap. So similar to St. Edward's, if you guys take more than 12 credit hours a semester, we will not increase your tuition. So I always say it's always great to take advantage of that opportunity. So you can take an additional, that's 4 classes. So if you take an additional 5th or 6th class, you're getting those essentially for free. So I always say, why not take advantage of that opportunity? As far as how we can assist you guys in getting that stuff paid for, we have a few transfer scholarships that we have available here. We just added our Transfer Academic Achievement Scholarship, which is one that you'll be automatically considered for whenever you apply to UT Dallas for the fall or spring semester. And that scholarship is about $1,000. And then we have our Comets Transfer Scholarship, which will also be automatically considered for when you apply, which ranges from as little to $500 all the way up to $5,000, depending on your GPA. And then we have the Comet Scholars Program that you can apply for separately for the fall or spring semester. That is a $5,000 scholarship. And then we have the PTK scholarships. If you're part of Phi Theta Kappa here at ACC, all you have to do is prove that you are part of it, and that show us your membership, and you'll get either $500 if you're a part-time student or $1,000 if you're a full-time student. And then my favorite part about UT Dallas is our Comet Promise program. It is truly a full tuition coverage program. You do have to fill out the FAFSA or TASFA in order to be considered for this program. And it's better to apply as early as possible, even if you are applying for the spring semester. Apply earlier as if you were submitting for fall, just so that we can ensure that we get you this Comet Promise. So it's as long as your family income is $100,000 or less, you will receive full tuition coverage here at UT Dallas. That is a promise. As long as it is proven within your TASFA or FAFSA, whichever one you're eligible to fill out, we will give you full tuition coverage, and it comes together through different scholarships and then the financial aid aspect of Pell Grants and other grants that we have available. So that is my favorite thing about UTL, is what we offer for our students to be able to be successful and to pay their way through college. But definitely make sure that you're filling out your FAFSA and TASFA, whichever one you're eligible for, because that is the biggest thing for a lot of our scholarships, is that we need to see that need-based aid too. And all of our scholarships that I mentioned earlier, they're all stackable. So if you get all of them, you will have all of them. We won't take something away from you. And if you decide to apply to outside scholarships, which you should, those are stackable as well. So you truly can stack up as many scholarships as possible, and on top of the grants that you'll receive through FAFSA or TASFA, and pay your way through college. We have about 61% of our students that graduate from UT Dallas with no student debt whatsoever.
For Texas State, we are pay for credit. So unlike them, more classes, more money. So our average tuition for 15 hours a semester is $6,000 each semester. So $12,000 if you end up taking 30 hours. You can do the math to figure out how much per credit that is. But it is also on our website. So just know around $12,000 for the full year for 30 credit hours. We do have a transfer scholarship that you will be automatically considered for based upon your admission requirements. So if you have over 15 credit hours, this is different than last year. It changed in the middle of last year, which we're super excited about. So 15 credit hours or more with a 3.25 GPA qualifies you for one of our scholarships for transfers. The higher the GPA, the higher the scholarship. There is a breakdown of each GPA bracket and how much you can receive for that. And that scholarship is renewable for an additional year. So you can get that scholarship for 2 years. And then we also have competitive scholarships. So those are scholarships that any department across campus might be giving out. They'll have all different requirements, all different things to go ahead and apply to them. It's going to be through our Bobcat online scholarship system. Easier to just remember BOSS. And then if you are coming for a fall semester, they'll only be awarded for a full academic year. So you can only apply for them for the fall. But they open in November and close in March. So just remember, March 1st is when they will close. And good thing y'all are here because you can apply for them every single year that you're a Texas State student. So it's not just for incoming students. A lot of Texas State students don't realize that. So make sure that you're looking at that. We have so many different opportunities to receive scholarships at Texas State. And then just as previously mentioned, making sure you're submitting your FAFSA and your TASFA.
For UT Austin, our tuition ranges from around $10,000 to $13,000 for the academic year. It's in a range because it depends on the major that you select. So business, engineering, computer science, those are going to be more on the higher end of the tuition costs. So about $5,000 to $6,000 per semester, $10,000 to $13,000 per year. Our total cost of attendance is around $32,000 to $35,000 for the academic year. So that's your housing, your miscellaneous costs, books and supplies, and your tuition. I always tell transfer students that you kind of have a better, entry into higher education because you already have some items that you don't have to do these additional setup costs as students coming straight from high school to university have to do. You've already bought books, you've already experienced the semester. You know, some courses you don't have to buy every book for, so you kind of already know how it goes when it comes to your cost of attending an institution. Additionally, we do have scholarships at UT Austin. We have the Transfer and Continuing Student Scholarship, so you can apply to it during your application semester. And if you are admitted to UT Austin and you get the scholarship, great. If you're admitted to UT Austin and you don't get the scholarship, it's called Continuing Student because you can apply to it every semester that you're at UT Austin. 56% of our students do receive some form of financial aid, so we really are, proud of that number that more than half of our student body does receive assistance to cover their cost of attendance at UT Austin. And we do have a program called the Texas Advanced Commitment. So through the Texas Advanced Commitment, if your adjusted gross income of your household is $100K or less, then you have tuition coverage at UT Austin. So the only thing that you have to do to qualify for the tuition coverage is submit the FAFSA or the TASFA. So submitting those is what's going to grant you that. There's no additional application, but you have to submit the FAFSA or the TASFA. If your adjusted gross income is over $100K but up to $125K, then we offer tuition support. And so support looks different for each student depending upon where you fall in that income bracket. And the really good thing about the Texas Advanced Commitment is that it also has a housing stipend. So students get a little bit of money to help them pay for housing each semester by qualifying for that program. So there's various ways to qualify for scholarships and get some of that price cut down at UT Austin, but we're also really grateful that our tuition is pretty low in the state for the #1 institution in the state of Texas.
Hi, everyone. So for Texas A&M, it also would depend on the major that you're selecting. Some majors do have a higher price tag, but it can range anywhere from, let's say, $11,000 to $14,000 for the entire year. And that would be for your tuition and fees. And then, of course, if you're wanting like an estimated cost of tuition with everything included, like books, we even put travel in there, personal expenses, you can around $29,000, potentially $1,000 for the entire year if you're trying to include, have a comprehensive number. But at A&M, we of course do offer support for our students, and scholarships is going to be a big one there. We do not have a separate scholarship application. Your admissions application is your scholarship application. So as long as you apply for admissions, you are also applying for scholarships. So as long as you are admitted, we will automatically consider you for every scholarship and opportunity that you qualify for based off the information provided to us with the application. And if you are looking for the need-based opportunities, you would definitely be required to submit the FAFSA or the TASFA so we can verify that information. But some scholarship opportunities we have will, of course, be our PTK scholarship. You do have to be a Texas resident to qualify for that scholarship, but that will be a question on the application. Are you an active member of Phi Theta Kappa? If you check mark yes, we'll just run your name through the system to verify that you are indeed an active member. And again, as long as you're admitted, that is a scholarship we can automatically consider you for. And we also do have scholarships that offer support to low and middle income families. So one of it is called the Aggie Assurance Program. So if you, and again, that must be verified through your FAFSA or your TASFA. But for Aggie Assurance, we will cover tuition and fees. Again, will be covered with scholarships and or grants for those students whose family income and assets are less than $60,000 and have financial need. We also do have an expanded Aggie Assurance commitment to provide tuition support grants for our undergraduate students. And the support grants, again, just depends on your situation, but those can range from as low as $500 to $1,500. And again, that's just based on the income and the financial need that is shown through your FAFSA and or your TASFA. A newer scholarship that we have in place, and this, if I remember correctly, will be the second full year that we're doing this scholarship, is our Transfer Luminary Scholarship. And that scholarship is specifically for first-generation college students. And you, again, also must be a Texas resident to qualify. But that is just an additional opportunity that we have for students, again, that Transfer Luminary Scholarship. And again, it's not a separate application. You submit your application for admissions as well as your FAFSA or your TASFA, so we can verify that you are a first-generation college student. And as long as you are, we can then consider you for that opportunity. That particular scholarship is renewable for 3 years. And I wrote down the number because it changed on me. So for that, we can give you up to $3,000 again per year. And to qualify for that first generation scholarship, it also has a family contribution of $50,000 or less. But that's just an additional opportunity that we have for our students. And in addition to that, just scholarship wise, if you are interested in the Corps of Cadets, they have their own separate funding outside of admissions. So our Corps of Cadets has fantastic scholarships to give out. So if you are interested in the Corps of Cadets, I would definitely encourage you to get connected with them, as oftentimes they can provide more assistance than what we could in admissions. So again, definitely another opportunity for you there. We also do not limit your scholarships. We do allow students to stack opportunities. So if you are the most qualified student for that scholarship, you will be given that scholarship. So again, you can definitely stack on those scholarships to help cover that overall cost of tuition and fees at Texas A&M.
Thank you so much, panelists, for all of that helpful information. We are going to get started with student questions as well as questions from our online audience. Does anybody have a question? I can run the mic to you.
Thank you. Do you guys allow to not live on campus and avoid any living expenses?
Thank you. At St. Edward's University, you are not required to live on campus as a transfer student. You're certainly welcome to, but it is not a requirement.
At UT Dallas, you're also not required to live on campus as a transfer student. No one's actually required to live on campus at all, not even freshmen. And we're in a residential space, so there's plenty of off-campus housing for you to choose from.
Texas State, you don't have to live on campus, and we actually encourage transfer students to not live on campus because we do require freshmen too.
At UT Austin, we do not require any students to live on campus, transfer or freshmen. We also encourage our transfer students to live off campus and to not apply to housing. There is a cost to apply to housing, and we know that housing mostly caters to placing first-time in college freshman students, so we don't want students to pay housing a free $50 to tell them no. So we do have resources online as well. If you Google UT Austin off-campus housing resource, we have this resource to help you look for off-campus housing that's close to UT, if you need help looking for roommates. And if you ever have issues with like a landlord or a leasing office, there's also tools on there to help you navigate those situations.
At Texas A&M, we also do not require any of our students to live on campus, freshman or transfer. The only time you are required is if you are in the Corps of Cadets, you do have to live on campus during your undergraduate career. We do place our freshmen first, and most of our transfer students will live off campus. And just know there are a lot of cost savings with that. It can be pricey to live on campus, so you can definitely save yourself some money by living off campus. Through our housing website, we also have a great link to assist you with your off-campus housing search. You can definitely tailor it to your needs, how much you're wanting to spend a month or a year, how close in proximity you want to be into the university. Do you want to be on an A&M bus route? Do you need roommate matching? Do you have roommates? So you can definitely filter it to your needs, and we'll help generate a list for you. So our housing services on campus can definitely still assist you, even if you are living off campus. But short answer to your question is no, we do not require our transfer students to live on campus.
So I have a question about how closely you work with veterans. Do you help with assistance when comes to like financial aid with veterans or housing?
Great question. Thank you. Yes, we at St. Edward's University, we do have a dedicated Veterans Affairs coordinator. So you have access to connecting with that person early on. His name is Dustin Knoll, and he would be more than happy to kind of meet with you. You can schedule an appointment with him to kind of discuss your benefits. There is also a link on our website where you can submit documentation to kind of expedite that process, so that when you meet with Dustin, he's able to kind of outline everything. Was there a second part to that question? Okay, okay, just making sure.
Yes, here at UT Dallas, we do have a military and veterans center that we typically send all of our military and veteran students to. They're going to help you with literally just the application to our institution, all the way through to you getting admitted, helping you with the financial aid process, all the things. You're going to have someone helping you every step of the way here at UT Dallas.
Very similar, yes, we do. We are a very veteran-friendly institution with the VA office that they won't help you with the application portion. I'll do that, but they'll be able to help you with your benefits, your financial aid, making sure you have all of the proper documentation in. Our website does a really good job too of outlining everything for each benefit that you could potentially receive and what you need to send us, how to send it to us as well. So yes, absolutely, we love our veterans and we have lots of support for them.
So also, yes, we have a veteran and military affiliated student department, and they work closely with us in the transfer pool because a lot of veteran students are transfer students, and they help you with your benefits. They will help you with the application. So Jeff, he's our coordinator in VMOS, and he's really good at helping students really talk about their military experience and tying that into their application, because that is an achievement that we also look for in our holistic review process. So yes, you do have that support, and then when you become a student, that office also continues to support you as a student.
For Texas A&M, yes, we have a separate military admissions office, so they do work with active military as well as veterans, just to kind of help you with the application process, how to help create a competitive candidate. So they can definitely work with you all the way through your admission cycle. And then we also have a veteran resource and support center. So if you are wanting to know, what documentation we potentially might need for you to use your benefits, you would work with those two offices, and they can definitely assist you throughout the entire process.
What is the process to get enrolled into the music programs of your schools as a transfer student? And is there any scholarships for the music programs?
Unfortunately, St. Edward's University does not offer a music program. We offer, different majors. Depending on kind of what you're wanting to do with your degree too, we can help you explore pathways. We also have a student organization that focuses on like music, but not a program itself.
So at UT Dallas, we have various different things of music. It's going to really depend on what you're wanting to do with music. If you're trying to just do instrumental, or you're wanting to do something within like music studio production, things like that. When it comes to the instrument style music stuff that you're wanting to do with majoring, the department will reach out to you and they'll set up a Lord, words, Moniz. They'll set up a Audition. Thank you. They're going to set up an audition with you to go through all that. It really depends on what you're wanting to do with it. As far as music production, that you don't need any type of audition. You just apply to it, and if you get admitted, then you're part of the program. I also encourage students that are interested in going into those programs to come to our campus and visit and actually do a tour of that department and meet with the faculty of that department. They're so willing to meet with prospective students all the time. You can come Monday through Friday and meet with them and see the actual space that you would be learning in and have a conversation.
Pretty similar. Texas State's going to require an audition for every single one of our music majors. Music is one of our top majors that we do offer, so it is pretty competitive. Same kind of thing as I mentioned about Veterans Affairs with music. On our website, it has very detailed information that you can even look at now to kind of prepare ahead to see what they're looking for, what you need. I think you have to send in a video of playing an instrument or if you're singing. But they have very detailed information, and my biggest piece of advice is, one, get connected with me so I can make sure you're taking the correct classes, but also look and make sure you're not missing deadlines, because our music program does have very strict deadlines for those audition processes, and they will not reach out to you. You have to do it all on your own too. So getting connected with me is also a great resource so that we can make sure you're looking at the website correctly, not missing any of those deadlines once your time to transfer happens.
Well, for one, it sounds like you have a good music program here at ACC. But yes, we do have music programs at UT Austin, our College of Fine Arts. They also have their own deadlines. So they run similar to our admission cycle. It is through the same application, but they do ask that you submit the items a little bit earlier than our normal transfer required deadlines. You would have an audition or submitting an audition tape as well for those various programs, but it is very different and specific depending upon what program that you want to go to within the music department. They also do very good at connecting with their students that are interested in fine arts, so you're more than welcome to always reach out to them, chat with them about their programs, what's going to be required, what they're looking for, and then of course their prerequisites will be listed on their admissions website of the things that you must have and need to submit.
At Texas A&M, our College of Performance, Visualization, and Fine Arts does have a new major of music performance. So for that major, it does require, yes, an audition. So in addition to meeting the academic requirements for that program, you also do need to pass the audition in order to officially be accepted. But yes, that is something that is required. So for our music performance, it does have a wide variety. If you're wanting to be, of course, a performer, a composer, songwriter, if you're wanting to do recording, definitely going to be the major for you. So previously it was performance arts, and now we have kind of separated to music performance, and then now we also have a theater program as well. But yes, we do offer a music degree to our students.
I was just wondering what advice you would give to someone who is interested in pursuing a postgraduate program. Do you prefer your students come from the undergraduates from the same university, or are you more free to come in from wherever?
That's a great question. So at St. Edward's University, we offer different graduate programs. You don't necessarily have to be an undergraduate student with us, but we do have a great program. It's called like a 4+1, which essentially, being a transfer student, you wouldn't have 4 years of undergraduate with us. But during your senior year at St. Edward's University, you're able to take graduate level classes without any additional cost. So basically, you're getting, on top of your undergraduate semester, you're able to take, I think it's 6 graduate level credit hours. So you're basically getting those for free, right? And then with an additional year, you're earning your undergrad and your master's degree. And we have different pathways. So depending what your undergraduate program is, we can find kind of one of our master's programs that will align with what you're wanting to pursue.
So, of course, you can come in from a different institution and come to grad school here at UT Dallas, but you can take part of the fast track program here if you do come in as a transfer student in your undergrad, and you could actually work on your master's and your bachelor's at the exact same time and graduate within 5 years. For you coming as a transfer student, depending on how many credits you're coming in with, it could be even less than 5 years of getting both of those. So that is something that we do offer is our fast track program.
Texas State also has a 4+1 program for, I believe, like 2 or 3 of our majors. So we don't have a lot of them. So that's where you can get your bachelor's and your master's together. Like I said, we only have a few of them. Overall, I would say it really doesn't matter if you get your bachelor's degree from somewhere else and then apply to a different graduate program. My biggest piece of advice would be to look at the requirements for graduate programs. Sometimes they'll require a specific major, sometimes they might require specific classes. And so really just look at that. That's gonna be what they look at more rather than where exactly you got that degree. So I know Texas State does a really good job for each graduate program because they'll all have different requirements and laying out what those requirements are for the programs.
Same for UT Austin. We only about 2 of our degrees has a 4+1, so that's going to be accounting and nutrition. The rest of them are just regular undergraduate. You graduate and you apply to our graduate school. We don't have a preference of if you graduated from UT Austin or not to go to our graduate programs. We also use that as a recruiting tool in transfer admissions to tell students, even if you're not a Longhorn at this time, there's so many opportunities to come back and be a Longhorn through our graduate school or our medical school or our school of law. So it's not a requirement. I think it could be helpful when you think about different departments that those professors, they have taught at the undergraduate level in that department. And if you're interested in getting a graduate degree in the same department, you kind of already know the faculty and those that are leading the department. But it's definitely not a requirement that you have to have attended the institution in order to pursue a master's or a post-bachelor's degree at our institution.
It would be the same for Texas A&M. You're not required to do your undergraduate with us to pursue a graduate degree. You're welcome to come from any institution to pursue a graduate degree with us. Graduate degrees also opens the door at A&M to do distance education. We do not offer any distance education for undergrad. But when it comes to graduate programs, we do have quite a bit of virtual distance education degrees there. But no, you can definitely get your undergraduate degree from any institution and apply to any of our graduate degrees on campus or through our distance education programs.
Hey guys, that is the end of our panel today. Let's give a round of applause for our panelists. And a round of applause for you guys for sticking it through. We are done with today's panel, but they are going to be available for you to come up and ask questions until 3 o'clock. So please do. And if you have any questions for us, we're going to be in the back. Thank you, guys. Oh, and the online panel is closed. Thank you.